Hola! I'm so glad you're here. We're going to be making easy mole today. So mole is a lovely Mexican sauce that originated in Oaxaca, and it can be spicy or it can be sweet. There's many different varieties of it, but my preferred one is Mole Rojo. That's because that's what my mother made for us, and it's spicy. You're making it from scratch. I have a video on YouTube right now. It takes forever, but it's really delicious, but it's a very involved recipe that takes many hours. But this one is a simple version of that, and we're going to be using all dried spices. It's going to take about 30 minutes to make our mole sauce. First of all, we're going to be using California chili powder, and oh my gosh, it smells so good. You can buy this online, most supermarkets. Also a little salt, some cloves, some paprika to give it a nice, beautiful color, some cayenne pepper to make it a little spicy and give it some more heat, because this powder is not, the chili powder is not very hot at all. And then some onion flakes, garlic, and then to make our roux, we're going to be using flour and oil, and I'll show you how to do that. And I'm going to be making chicken mole today. So I'm going to add in a little bit of water in a moment, and I'm going to use that stock, and that's how I'm going to make my sauce. But use a cooked chicken that you might pick up at the supermarket. You can just cut it into pieces or debone it, shred the chicken. You can use that, and you can chicken stock, or you can use just dried chicken stocks. Also, nor is something that we use in a lot of our recipes that we use in Spanish rice, etc. So also accessible, easy to use. The other thing you can do is you can make a plant-based version, and you can do that by using vegetarian stock with all of these spices. And I've made it with cauliflower, with sweet potatoes, combination of the two. So yummy and delicious. Normally I serve mole with Spanish rice and with flour tortillas de harina. All right, are you ready to make some easy mole? Here we go. I'm using a cast iron skillet, and I'm heating up the oil. That is the first step in making a roux. It sounds like it's pretty much ready, but a simple trick is that if you put your wood spoon in the oil and it bubbles, then it means it's ready. A really dear friend of mine taught me that trick. So once it's hot enough, we're going to pour in our flour and just sprinkle it around, and then we're going to mix it. So the thing about when you're making a roux, don't leave it, especially if you've got a stove that gets pretty hot like mine does. It's super easy to burn it. So you're just going to keep stirring it. It's going to get brown really fast. I've got the heat up. It's probably on medium-high right now. And just keep mixing it and working through all the lumps. And it's starting to bubble. And as it's browning and it's going to become this rich brown, the smell is amazing. The smell of cooking flour is actually really great. And as a little girl, I always loved it because it meant my mama was making mole. You also want to use a flat wood spoon, just so that you can really scrape the bottom and make sure that you're getting all the little bits. And this is my mother's cast iron skillet that I have, which I love using. Now, as soon as this gets brown, I'm going to be adding in all the dried spices with some of the chicken stock. So I've put them into a measuring cup. If you're making this for the first time, you're not sure how spicy you want it, I would start with all the dried spices and half of the cayenne pepper and half of the chili powder, and then add it in. Get it pretty much done and start tasting it and see if it suits your needs and the needs of your family or whoever you're making this for. So you can always make it hotter and add more heat, but once you add in the heat, you can't take it out. So just a little tip there. The other thing while this is going, you want to make sure that you have a whisk nearby so that you can use that to mix the mole once you add in your liquid, because it's going to get really thick really fast and you're going to want to be able to whisk it to get all the lumps out. So you want to have that nearby as well. And if you're doing this for the very first time, I would recommend you start it out on lower heat, let it take a little bit longer, just so that you get used to it. And then as you get more familiar with making roux, that you can use higher heat. Wow, look at that color. See that? It smells so good. Oh my goodness. I'm going to turn down the heat because I'm getting ready to add all of those spices with our chicken stock, and you'll see what's going to happen. It's kind of going to explode. I've also made this with gluten-free flour. I did not today, but it does work. You just have to be careful because the flour does kind of gets spongy. It goes everywhere. You just have to watch it, but it does work, and it does work really well, actually. Okay. So there's our flour, and we're going to start adding in our chili. I'm going to go ahead and add some of that stock. And see what's bubbling. And it does kind of go everywhere. It's okay. But I usually add about half or a third, and I work out the bumps with my whisk. And then as I see it's getting smoother, I add more in. And that was the second part of my dried spices that I just added. Now as all the chicken stock heats up and the other spices, it's going to get thicker. So there you go. You have your mole sauce. It is ready to go. It started to boil a little bit. It's still going to get a little bit thicker. But now is when you can add in your chicken or your cauliflower or your sweet potatoes or whatever you've decided to add to your mole. I'm going to add our chicken. I did some chicken breast, and I don't know if you've tried this, but the 2-fork system to actually shred it is super easy. You just take 2 forks and it's easy, super easy to shred. And so now I'm just going to drop that in. And there you go. Easy chicken mole. Oh, it smells so good. I hope you enjoyed our video today of easy mole. And oh my goodness, it smells so good. You can serve this with our Spanish rice, flour tortillas, or you could do a white rice or a brown rice, whatever you like. And because it's right here in front of me and I can't stand how good it smells, I have to take a little bite. So I'm taking a little piece of flour tortilla, dipping it into the mole sauce. Okay. So yummy. I hope you decide to make this recipe. If you have any questions at all, please reach out here on YouTube or on Instagram at mole_mama. Thank you for watching my video today. Be well y que Dios te bendiga.